Good evening, everyone. I'm Faith Washington, and I'm here with Miss Sadie. How are you tonight?
I am good. Just so happy to be here, being a part of the youth retreat. You guys are building up your bodies, and I'm excited to see what you guys do.
So tonight we're going to be talking about transitioning to high school. So moving into our first point on the high school application process. So how many people are needed in this decision?
So your opinion is extremely important in the high school application process, but you also will need your parents, your classroom teachers, your principals, and your guidance counselor. If you are in charter or private school, your principal will really be a part of pushing your application through.
Right. So how long is the process?
So the process normally starts in the second or third week of September and goes all the way until like the first week of November. During that time, you will experience the high school fair. You will be able to do some meet and greets at your schools for open houses for the potential schools you would like to go to. During that time, you're really talking with your family and making your decision on what schools you would like to go to.
What schools be looking for in the new student?
So schools are looking for a number of things. One, really looking at your attendance. Are you constantly late? Do you attend school 95% of the time? They will also be looking at your behavior. What kind of student are you? Do you have suspensions? Are you on student council? Do you make really good changes inside your school? Do you have really great relationships? They also will be looking at your grades. Are you an honor roll student? Are you an AB student? Or have you had some challenges and your grades are climbing and improving? Schools are looking at all those things.
Right. So how many schools can you pick?
So you can select 5 schools. If you are going to a public school or thinking about a public school, the high school application is for public schools only. If you want to do charter or private school, those schools have their individual own application process that you will have to call the schools or go on their individual website. So 5 schools, 5 public schools.
All right. And what makes a top 10 school?
Great question. So like I said, greatphillyschools.com is an awesome website for resources. When you go on that website, again, greatphillyschools.com, not org.com, when you go on that website, you can select high schools, and there 131 schools will come up. 131. So that includes public, private, and charter schools. So what makes a top 10 school? The website rates schools from a 0 to a 10.
What makes a top 10 school?
So a top 10 school, when you go on greatphillyschool.com, you will be able to see the schools are rated from a 0 to a 10. What makes a 10 school, you ask? They look at the school's attendance rate with their students. Do 95% of the student body attend school regularly? Then they also look at serious incidents. Is there a lot of fights or suspensions or drugs or guns at the school? And then also they look at students' math scores, science scores, and reading scores. And the last big thing they look at for a 10 school is how do students move on to higher learning? What percentage of the student body goes on to college or even trade schools?
Right. So moving into our second point on relationships with teachers, principals, and counselors. So how do I build this relationship?
You build these relationships with teachers. Well, it really starts with completing your assignments. Do you complete your assignments on time? Are you building up a good rapport, asking teachers, how's your day going? How are you? Are you being a respectful student? All of that plays into the relationship of, creating a good, strong bond.
Right. So, and why are these relationships important?
So the relationships are important because you are going to need letters of recommendation. If you are moving to high school or already in high school, you will need letters talking about your character and who you are as a student. Your teachers, your guidance counselor, and your principals will play a part in that. I know building a relationship with your counselor and your principal may be a little bit harder, but you have to just go out of your way, make sure you leave a strong impact on your school.
Right. So moving into our third point, stress and anxiety. So what are some things that can help the stress of high school?
So it's inevitable. You will be stressed out. If it is about classes, if it's about peers, if it's your teachers, if it's sports, dance, playing the trumpet, you will be stressed about something. It's all about how you handle the stress. So a really strong verse that my mom instilled in me is Philippians 4:6-7. Be anxious for nothing, but in all things, prayer and supplication, give thanks to the Father. So even now as an adult, if I'm waiting for something or I'm anxious about something, I repeat that verse to me. That's a power verse. Find your power verse, write it in your notebook, put it on the inside of your book bag, write it on your bedroom wall, but find verses that build you up during that time. Other things you can do is download the app Headspace or Calm. Those are 2 apps that I use that you can do affirmations in the morning, you could do them when it's late at night, or you can listen to the calming sounds during the course of the day. I will also say, talk to your family and friends. No one knows you're stressed unless you tell them. So look for opportunities to open up to the people that are the closest to you, people that can help you and talk to you about your stress. The last point is going to sound a little weird, but I would say join an activity, join a club, or do things you love. So if you love to paint, you love to sing, you love to dance, you love to play sports, make sure you're doing that, because you'll start teaming up with other young people and you'll find out how are they dealing with stress, and you'll be able to have a calmer life by building good relationships.
Right. So what are some good sleep habits that we should have?
Great question. When I talk to tons of young people and I ask them about what are you doing in positive or for your positive mental health, people say, oh, I sleep. Wrong answer. No. I'm actually going to turn and just ask you a question. What is a nap? How long is a nap?
15-20 minutes.
Okay. So great answer. 15 to 20 minutes is a nap. If you are coming home and you're going to sleep for 2 to 3 hours, you have went to bed. That is no longer a nap. Now you are going to be up for that time of night. So creating a good sleeping habit is like setting your alarm, what time you're going to go to bed, using your iPhone or your Android and checking your sleeping habits. Are you going to bed for 8 hours a night? Are you getting a full night's worth of rest? Because your sleep habits affect your stress habits. They're directly connected.
Yes. So moving into our last point, questions for you.
All right, so I have just some quick advice for moving on to high school and adapting to that life. The first thing is make sure you have goals. You should always set short-term goals and long-term goals. Short-term goals are about 2 to 3 months. What do you want done in the course of 2 to 3 months? And even thinking about the summer, what do you want to accomplish by August? What do you want to do? And it doesn't have to be academically related. It could be learning a new dance or learning a new language or just painting more or singing more, things that bring you joy. But then you also should have long-term goals of answering the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Write those goals down. Just like you wrote down your power verse, right next to your power verse are your goals. So every day you're looking at it, you're thinking about how are you going to achieve those goals. The second thing I would say is every negative experience you have, and you will have negative experiences, look for ways to turn it into a positive outcome. So you may fail a test. Always think about what is the lesson learned. You may not, make the team, basketball, cheerleading, drill team, but what is your lesson learned? Maybe, you're not so great in that area and you practice more and you try out again. Or maybe you go to a different club. But you will have negative experiences. Is how you turn it for the positive. And the last thing I would say is I love this Bible verse. With man, things are impossible, but with God, all things are possible. So right now you may say, I can never do that. Think about the power of yet. I cannot do it yet. I haven't achieved it yet, but you will. With God, all things are possible. So I'm just so happy that you had me here tonight.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so excited about the virtual youth retreat, guys. Think about those 4 points. Think about the high school application process, building good relationships with your teachers, handling stress, and creating a really good sleep habit. And the only thing I got left to say is Blue Squad. You see these blue shirts out here?
Blue Squad all the way.
Guys.
Good night.